After 4 consecutive losses, any win is a big win, and yesterday's victory even the Sox home record at 5-5. Now, the Rays have struggled on the road in this early season, winning only twice in 9 games, but they arrive in Chicago tonight after winning 5 out of 6 at home against Oakland and the Yankees. Chris Sale goes to the rubber tonight as the Sox try to take Game 1 against the Tampa Bay Rays next, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet Plus presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Alex Rios, that I'm done in the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Evan Longoria and Joe Madden's Tampa Bay Rays. And hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the first of this 4-game set. As you know, the Sox did break that 4-game losing streak yesterday. Jose Quintana was just outstanding, picking up his second victory of the season. Big 2-run homer by Alex Rios. But tonight we're facing Joe Madden's club, which is always tough, but they have a lot of new faces.
And every year it seems like this ball club just turns things over, lets some key players go, and then still wins. As you can see from last year, James Shields gone, Wade Davis gone. That was in a deal for Will Myers. P.J. Upton gone to Atlanta, and Carlos Pena to Houston. So there's a lot of thunder out of that lineup, some pretty good pitching. However, they fill in quite nicely. But this year, on the road, it's been a disaster for them. One road trip, they were 2-7. They didn't hit. Batting average below 200. Runs per game below 3. You're not going to win like that, even with good pitching and defense.
Had a couple of good young pitchers out on that bump tonight.
Chris Sale going to the mound for our boys, and Chris has done an unbelievable job. But the starting rotation as a group, the last 7 starts, has been close to unhittable. ERA 185. Obviously, you can see earned runs only 9. And despite that, we're not dominating people, but we're looking a whole lot better. The defense is starting to come together, and I think we can beat these boys.
All right, Sale against Hellickson, so sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. And by Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com.
Welcome back to U.S. Cellular Field. It's kind of a cold evening, but not horrible at 53 degrees. And Tampa Bay comes into this 10-11. They're 4 games out of first place. Our Sox, piloted by Robin Ventura, 3 games out of first place. And Kansas City earlier beat Detroit. So there's a look at one of the most creative, one of the most unusual managers in all of baseball, Joe Maddon. I asked him if he had a theme for this road trip. He said no themes. We had enough back home to last us. So let's take a look at how Joe Maddon's going to line up his Rays tonight. Desmond Jennings leading off, then it's Roberts, then Zobrist, who's become a terrific player, with Longoria, the leader of this team, Rodriguez, Duncan, Johnson, Lobaton, and Sam Fuld in right field hitting 9. The defense and how they're going to line up behind Chris Sale. Diaza, Wise, and Rios in the outfield with Gillespie, Ramirez, Keppinger, and Konerko in the infield. Tyler Flowers gets a nod behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale, looking to even his record of 2-2, his ERA 4.5. 23 strikeouts, only 6 walks in 26 innings. And he's got a lineup that doesn't have a whole lot of thunder in it. If you can contain Longoria, most likely you contain this Tampa Bay ball club. The umpires for the game tonight. Phil Cuzzy is behind the plate. Lance Barrett is at first. Chris Guccione is at second. And Tom Hallion is at third. So the last road trip, and the only road trip the Tampa Bay club went on, they were 2-7. Talking with Joe Maddon about it, he said nothing went right. We had some very good pitching against us, but his ball club just isn't scoring a whole lot of runs. And that, of course, is a familiar refrain because we're in the same situation. And one of the big problems, hitting with runners in scoring position, has plagued both of these teams. So they're throwing the ball around the infield. We're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stevie. Thank you, and once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. So happy you could join us for the first of 4 against these D-Rays. Desmond Jennings will lead it off, 26-year-old center fielder. Tampa Bay with that 10-11 mark, 4 games back. Of course, Sox 8-12, 3 games back. So our 24-year-old southpaw Chris Sale, 6'6", 180 pounds, always in those short sleeves, regardless of what the temperature is. And right now it's 52 as he delivers down low ball 1. Jennings, I mentioned, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. Both those home runs coming, leading off a ball game. And the count 2-0. And it's Earth Week. 432,000 tons of computers are disposed of each year. Donate or recycle yours instead of throwing it away. Green is universal. Very quickly, the count 3-0.
This isn't the guy you want to walk. He's one of their speed burners. Last year, just under 94% efficiency in stolen bases.
There's the strike. Yeah, he was 31 for 33.
Not bad. Not bad for a kid just learning it.
Yeah, this year he's 5 for 7. Takes it up in a full count. And here at the ballpark, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gap, send 400 straight away center.
Ryan Roberts in the on-deck circle. Man of many tattoos.
And he walks the wrong guy, the leadoff man.
And we'll see how aggressive Jennings is going to be, because if he takes a substantial lead, there's no reason for Chris Sale to even try to set him up. You should just go over there with your best move if he's going to take that bigger than normal lead.
That's the 7th leadoff walk for Sox starters this year, and the first 6, 2 of them scored.
Not a real good percentage.
Roberts hitting at .277, a couple of homers, 4 knocked in. I believe both those home runs coming off CC Sabathia.
Roberts been hitting the ball very well.
Last year in 60 games, hit .214, 6 homers, and knocked in 18. All set. That ball hit well. We got a man there.
That one turned Dwayne all the way around, but he was able to stay with it. Roberts hit the daylights out of this one, but fortunately he hit it to the biggest part of the ballpark, as that fastball was low and down the middle. And Wise able to reverse course and make the play.
Dwayne Wise plays just about as shallow as any center fielder in this league, and he has the ability to go get them behind him.
I love to see center fielders who play shallow, because there's going to be more dunked in front of you than hit over your head, especially if you go back exceptionally well, and he does that.
Well, Torrey Hunter changed the landscape, so to speak, for center fielders. And nothing against Torrey, because he was a terrific player and still is a good player. But he learned one thing: you don't get on the highlight reels by playing shallow center field.
No. You go back, you make catches scaling the wall, but in the meantime, you give up a lot of singles and occasionally a double in front of you.
Decent lead by Jennings. Slowly hit. Now give it to him real quick. No, he could have waited a little bit longer.
That really isn't the play you want to make anyway. There's no way in the world you come away with that and not get the lead runner. That was a mental mistake on the part of a guy who's been around a long time. But right here, when the runner stops, just toss to second or run and tag him. But if you do that with the speed of Jennings, you're going to wind up with him in scoring position. And you got to face a couple of guys who can really hit.
Well, this guy here is, last year was injured most of the time. Hated to see that, because I love to watch him play. Longoria last year hit .289, 17 homers, knocked in 55. And he's got one of the nicest approaches to the pitch you'll ever see. One of the softest approaches to the pitch. It's not violent. It's not a quick jerk. He just like walks into the pitch.
Well, the whole thing about it is quiet. I mean, he's quiet with his hands. He's quiet with every part of his swing.
He's very soft. As there's a good breaking ball for a strike.
They got him out of Long Beach State.
Well, Popeye, Don Zimmer, called a shot on him before we had a chance to see him play. Said, Hawk, this guy is going to be the best third baseman in baseball.
I watched him in the Arizona Fall League, sitting next to one of the Tampa Bay scouts, and he hadn't made the ball club yet. And I said, well, is that your everyday third baseman for about, I don't know, the next 12 years or so? He said, well, he's not going to make the club. He said, he's better than 75% of the third baseman in baseball right now. He said, yeah, but there's a ticking clock issue that we would like to keep for a while. They sent him to the minors.
Well, they signed a contract. Let me rephrase that. He signed a contract with them that was a great contract for the Tampa Bay Rays.
No doubt. And amazingly, this guy who wasn't ready to start the season came up as soon as he signed the long-term deal and became the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. 0-2 the count. Big sweeper. One thing you want to look for is a viewer watching in on the game is his breaking ball. If his breaking ball is sharp and you can see it's quick, he's got a chance to be really tough. If it starts to roll, he's got a chance to get hit. And there's the base hit. And that mistake that we made is, here's a throw off the mark, is going to cost us a run. And as Steve said, that's just a mistake you cannot make. You got to get that lead man, and we didn't.
RBI number 11 for Longoria. This is a changeup, but unfortunately for Chris, it's on the inner portion of the plate. And then there's no way that Diaz's arm is going to beat the wheels of Desmond Jennings.
So here's Sean Rodriguez hitting at 280, a homer. He's driven in 6. And as usual, what happens? You walk the leadoff man and he scores.
Walk the leadoff man. One bad thought process, and before you know it, you're down a run, which is what happens when you're not playing real good baseball.
Things like that will absolutely grate on a manager's nerves. Bobby knows what a tough game is to play, but he also knows that you're going to make physical mistakes, but you can't make mental mistakes. You can control that.
He talked about that in the paper today, and he said, look, I understand it. I'll go with guys for a long time, maybe longer than some other guys, but eventually things are going to have to turn around or there will be some changes.
Yeah. Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes, a gift run in here in the top of the first if you're just joining us. He gone, but we gave him one, and we trailed it by 1.
And Rios at the top with Dunn, Konerko, and Gillespie in the middle. Ramirez, Flowers, and Dwayne Wise rounded out. The defense and how they will line up behind Hellickson. Johnson, Jennings, and Fold in the outfield with Longoria, Zobrist, Ryan, and Rodriguez in the infield. Jose Lobaton behind the plate. And last year's Gold Glove winner, Jeremy Hellickson, on for the 5th time. Record 101 ERA, very respectable at a little over 3.5. As you can see, left-handers hit him substantially better than right-handers who don't do much with him. And he is a fastball, good curveball, straight change guy. He will throw the occasional slider, but not often. He is our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as Alejandro Diaz will lead it off against a tough right-hander. Hellickson, 25 years old, 6'1", 190 pounds, out of Des Moines. Piazza, 234, 4 homers. He's driven in 9. Takes first pitch strike. Breaking ball.
Hellickson normally has very good control this year. No exception. 6 walks in 25 in the 3rd innings.
That ball hit hard in the center field. Jennings got a good jump, but he's not going to be able to get there. One hops the fence, so a good way to start. The leadoff double. That's his 5th two-bagger.
A lot of guys around this league are just finding out that Alejandro Diaz is a lot stronger than you might think for a leadoff hitter. And even though Jennings is a very good center fielder, he has no chance to flag down this rocket.
Now Keppinger's got a job to do. And the man on deck certainly hopes he can get it done. That'd be Alex Rios. Keppinger at 188, no homers. He's driven in 5. Right-handers against Hellickson this year have had a tough go of it, hitting 111. That ball hit hard in the gap, and this game's going to be tied very quickly as now Keppinger makes up for that mental mistake he made. And don't you think that was not on his mind, too?
He drove in his 6th run of the year. And quickly, a couple of doubles have turned the game around. So Hellickson got that changeup up in his eyes, and high changeups turn into runs.
Alex has faced Hellickson 3 times, has 2 hits, one of them stayed in the park. And once again yesterday he came through with a big 2-run homer. And then poof, if you missed it.
It was an 0-2 count. And McAllister got that one on the inner portion and up and gone.
Flips another slow curveball up there, and the count 2-0. Done on deck. Three and 0.
That graphic you saw talked about Hellickson in the 1st inning giving up more runs than starts. It's usually not a particularly good sign, but it does say get him early. And right now he's got no command of his curveball.
That didn't take long. And right now, let's check out our Farmers Insurance picks to click tonight. Jim Angio, our director and the crew, they went with Diaz. He's going with Dwayne Wise. Frank and Laurie Padur. And we're going to go with Keppinger, who's at second base. So Rios with his 10th walk of the year. He only had 26 all last season. 10 walks, leads our club. He took that pitch very nicely.
Well, Adam took 3 walks in yesterday's game. But he certainly would like to see some contact. However, to this point, Hellickson is all over the place.
Takes it right there. No shift or even anything resembling a shift on for Dunn. And there is a split bat.
It's going to look a little like a cricket bat after this swing. Good portion of it goes flying.
1-2 the count. That ball into center field. Kept his tagging. And they get it back in. So a line drive out, and that'll bring up Konerko.
This Tampa Bay team normally is a very good defensive club. This year they made just 8 errors. But they don't have their everyday shortstop tonight. Yunel Escobar has a bit of a hamstring difficulty, so Zobrist, who's a jack of all trades, slides over to shortstop. And Ryan Roberts getting the start at second. There's a look at Ben Zobrist, who's gone from just another player. Since putting on that Tampa Bay uniform, he's become a bona fide star in this league.
Pauly 1 for 3 lifetime off Hellickson. Here's the curveball strike. And a year ago today, April 25th, Pauly cranked out his 400th home run.
Hellickson and Lobaton can't seem to get it together. Those are some pretty impressive numbers overall for Paul Konerko. Has a lot of runs batted in over the course of his career.
Pauly coming over here in 1999. And there's a base hit. That a boy. So they're going to wave him around. Kelly Johnson with the stroke. Safe. Good slide by Keppinger. Rios into third. Sox lead it 2-1.
RBI number 12 for Pauly. This fastball down and on the inner portion of the plate. And Kelly Johnson, who is a converted second baseman, who has a better than average left fielder's arm, but not a great arm overall, makes it close, but a good slide. Gets Keppinger in ahead of the lung. So Jim Hickey goes to the mound.
Bill Cuzzy in perfect position.
It's pretty tough when you get that ball and you're far enough away from the plate where you have to lunge to try to make a tag. Because any good base runner is going to be leaving you just the arm. And he's going to dive to the back of the plate. In this case, Keppinger just a little too quick.
So here's Gillespie. Connor at 304 with a homer. Starts him off with a changeup. Garner, who has impressed everybody with the lumber and the leather, hitting .333 against right-handers this year.
And Robbins said that if he continues to do what he's been doing, even when Beckham gets back, he's going to give the at-bats, a whole lot of them, to Connor Gillespie.
You got to.
I mean, you go with the hot hand. And
That's
it's one of the things that remains a constant in baseball.
Well, Beckham's going to play because Beckham's one of the best second basemen in the game. And this is a game of defense, as you well know, with pitching being the first line of defense. That's low.
Gordon back to the ballpark. Got that left hand bandaged after the surgery.
And that's into left field. That's going to be good enough to get the job done. So Alex will tag. He will score, and the Sox lead it 3-1.
That's just a second run batted in for Gillespie. And Hellickson having a lot of difficulty with location here in the first inning.
Well, you said it earlier. When you're having trouble getting a curveball over, you become basically a one-pitch pitcher.
And you're not overpowering with that one pitch.
Yeah. He's thrown a couple of change-ups, but makes you a fastball change-up pitcher. So here is Alexei. A lot of hitters, that's all they do. They just want to eliminate a pitch. Try to take it one pitch away from that hitter. And of course, as many guys today do not do that, because the way you do that is about moving around in the box. You don't see many guys moving around in the box. But you can create your own strike zone.
Pitch number 22 from Hellickson. And he hasn't found too many that he can throw in the spot he wants.
So Paulie at first, 2 out, 3 in, and a 2-1 count.
Those numbers don't look horribly impressive, but you have to realize that Tampa Bay over the last 5+ years has had just overwhelming pitching from pretty much top to bottom.
Well, that's why they had been able to win 90 or more games, like what, 4 years in a row? Because of the pitching and the defense.
They got a very good team, but the team doesn't score a lot of runs, but they always bring good pitchers, most of them homegrown, by the way, as far as the starting rotation. And under Joe Madden, they seem to blossom.
He's one of the best, if not the best. A lot of people say, well, he's out of the box.
He is that. There's no doubt. That's not a bad thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, I wish more managers were in the box he's in. Because there's a roller. Stay fair. It won't. I like to put Joe, as when people talk to me about him, ask me about him, in the category of being pretty creative.
Well, you would think so, because the last homestand he had a penguin come in the locker room. He had a magician, which he said everybody really liked. Then he had a cockatoo, which I think tried to bite David Price on the night that he was starting. So that might not have been a great idea. But Joe is creative, and he says no themes. This particular road trip, we did away with the themes.
Got him. So the Sox score the most runs in an inning they have scored this year without hitting a home run, and we lead at 3-1. Sox in Major League Baseball had a special screening of 42, the biographical sports drama depicting the trials and triumphs of the legendary Jackie Robinson. Now, the entire junior class of Simeon High School was treated to a viewing of the film. And Simeon is a Chicago public school and home to many of the White Sox Amateur City elite team players. So they had a terrific day watching 42. And to learn more about the White Sox Inter-City Baseball initiatives, visit whitesox.com/community. Shelly Duncan takes first pitch strike from Chris Sale. Shelly hitting at 196, a couple of homers. He's driven in 6. Last year, Cleveland hit 203, 11 homers, and knocked in 31.
Well, he hit a very meaningful home run against our ball club in that park. And he likes fastballs, middle in, period.
Got in on him right there. Got him. 1 out. A reminder, tickets for the 2013 season have been greatly reduced for nearly all games, and the schedule is full of great matchups, promotional nights, family Sundays, and post-game fireworks. So purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Kelly Johnson.
He's been around a long time and mostly as a second baseman, but he's always shown a little power.
Yes, he does. He's 31, and he seems like Steve said, he seems like he's been around forever.
Appeal to Tom Hallion. He says nope, he didn't go, so it evens the count at 1.
There's that breaking ball. 2-1. First of 4 with these Tampa Bay Rays. Two and 2. He gone. 2 down.
Billy Johnson did not like the call of Phil Cuzzy. This is really pretty much a hanging breaking ball. We'll look at it from the side. And apparently he called it a strike because that wasn't a swing.
That's a foul ball. Lobaton hitting at 160. He's a switch hitter.
Jose Molina is their everyday catcher. And even though he is truly a veteran, has been behind the plate quite a lot, they're getting some mileage out of him in Tampa Bay. But he's played a couple days in a row, so it's Lobaton tonight.
And that's foul. They're underway in Minnesota. Texas leading the Twins 1-0, top of the second. And in that big game last night out at the Big A in Anaheim, Rangers hammered the Angels 11-3. Darvish 4-1 over Roth.
Pretty much of a mismatch with Roth getting his first major league start. And Hugh Darvish, one of the better pitchers in all of baseball. Well, there's 30 of them. Chris would like to keep that down if he could.
The 2-2. Chris wanted it. Didn't get it.
That's two of them that he was flirting with the inside corner. As you can see, 4 has a little piece. Maybe you can make a case for 5 not being there.
And he walks in with 2 out. Second walk, first one scored. Talking about Texas. They are leading the league in ERA with a 2.85 ERA in the American League, which is almost unheard of.
And they're making it real tough on the Los Angeles ball club that everybody felt would be at the top.
I don't know. As I said, I like Texas.
You like Texas from the beginning. I remember we were talking in spring training.
That's a good ball club. Not that the Angels aren't right now, but it's baseball. You know, you got Pujols and you got Hamilton. They're not swinging the bats.
No, and Weaver being out for as long as he is out with a broken elbow, that's not really helping that pitching staff all that much.
No.
Now Tyler Flowers, what he's going out there telling Chris Sale is don't allow a couple of pitches you didn't get to distract you from what you're trying to do, which is retire Sam Fowle.
Did you ever have that problem?
With an umpire not calling pitches? Yeah, you always get that problem, but the main thing is...
did you let it affect the next pitch?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Well, you can't, because if you do, you wind up doing something like this.
3-0.
A little left-hand hitter that he should absolutely eat up, and he still might before the at-bat's over, but going 3-0 on Sam Fowle is a way to ensure you're going to face Desmond Jennings.
Back to back. So the third walk, and here comes the first walk, leading off the ball game. If you're just tuning in,
I think Don Cooper is going to go out. I think, yeah, Tyler Flowers looked over in the dugout. I think he wants to get Don to come out and get Chris back concentrating, or maybe Don will stay out there until Phil Cuzzy takes a walk out there, and then Don will express his displeasure at a couple of the calls.
So Coop leaves, and a reminder, send us your comments on tonight's game through Twitter using hashtag White Sox Talk, and we'll read one back later in the game that just might be yours. Boy, Nolan Ryan, what a job he's done with that organization. Who'd have thunk it? Texas leading the league.
Well, for a while there, it looked like Nolan was going to seek out other places, but he's still there.
There's a strike to Jennings. Well, the thing about it was he stated what he was going to do the day he took over.
He did, and he did it.
And he's done it.
And they've done nothing but win. They haven't won the big prize, but they've been there a couple times.
Pitch just a little bit low. There's one. 1-2 the count.
Talked with Davey Martinez, who's a bench coach for Joe Madden and is going to be a pretty good manager one day. And he said that Jennings, back to his natural position in center field, is starting to realize that he belongs here. And he said the sky's the limit talent-wise for this guy.
Over to first base. And that'll retire the side. So he pitches over a couple of walks. Meanwhile, threw a lot of pitches. And it's still 3-1 good guys.
Patrick Kane and the Hawks look to put on a show for the United Center crowd. Don't miss Blackhawks Flames tomorrow night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet.
Prettiest jersey in all the sports right there.
I think it's gorgeous. I have a couple of the red jerseys, thanks to John McDonough and Jay Blunk. They put my name on the back, and it's pretty nice.
Oh, they're beautiful. Beautiful.
We do so much skating in Arizona that jersey's well worn.
We go twice a week in Orlando.
That's good.
Yeah. Here's Tyler. Tyler, 212, 3 homers, 7 knocked in. Tyler saying, wait a minute, you're not giving that to my guy.
I think that's exactly what he's saying. And Phil Cuzzy, without really looking directly at him, is explaining some things to him.
Well, that's what a catcher's, one of the burdens that he bears.
Well, you got to be careful in your at bats, because you want to get the pitches for your pitcher.
There's a changeup, way out in front. Earlier today, Kansas City beat the Tigers in 10 innings, 8-3. Collins over Koch. One down. Another changeup. And here's D. Wise. Let's see what happened in that Kansas City Tiger game.
5 runs in the 10th, I believe.
Billy Butler 3 for 3. Gordon 2 for 6 with a homer. Grand slam in the top of the 10th. There's a fastball strike. Oh, 0-2 the count. Washington leading Cincinnati 6-1. That's at the top of the 7th at Nationals Park. Boston 14-7, leading Houston 7-2. Top of the 7th at Fenway.
They're getting a lot of mileage out of Clay Buchholz and John Lester. We talked about them before the game, and what a job the combination of Juan Nieves and John Farrell have done with that pitching staff. Farrell in his first year of managing, and Juan Nieves in the first year of being a pitching coach of those boys.
The 1-2. That changeup hit down to Rodriguez. 2 out.
Rodriguez is their jack of all trades. They can put him anywhere. And tonight they're resting James Loney only because Chris Sale is really tough on the left-hander. So Rodriguez, who's got great hands, is able to fill in at any position on the field. And that certainly helps out Joe Madden with his flexibility.
Here's Diaz. He started us off in fine fashion with that double over the head of Jennings in center field. First pitch strike. Count evens.
Most teams don't shift all that much in center field on Diaz, but Jennings is a couple steps over into right center.
There's the curveball. Dodgers beat the Mets 3-2 at City Park. At Citizens Bank Ballpark, Pittsburgh beat the Phillies 6-4. Marlins leading the Cubs 3-2, bottom of the 5th, down in Miami. Got him with a hook. 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the 3rd, leading 3-1. With Sox in game live only on CSNChicago.com, brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Three-one, good guys.
And ideally, Chris Sale wants to keep this inning to a minimum of pitches, despite going through 3 of their tougher hitters. He's got 40 already, and he's only through 2.
Roberts went out deep center field. Wyatt's got a good jump. Made it an easy play for him. First pitch strike. Breaking ball, no. There's a breaking ball, yes. 1-2. Tried to gas him upstairs at 92.
Roberts has been around a long time. Started his career back in '03. Originally got to the big leagues with Toronto, but quickly was shuttled to Texas, and just as quickly wound up in Arizona as a Diamondback for the better part of 4 different seasons.
Souvenir right side.
Roberts' biggest year was 19 home runs, 65 driven in with Arizona in 2011. So the Rays are hoping he can show a little bit of that power with them. And he already has done some of it.
First of 4 of these guys tomorrow night. Jake Peavy against Roberto Hernandez. Jake Meister.
Roberto Hernandez, who used to be Fausto Carmona, but a name change, and 4 years later, no Fausto, but he still has a sinker.
No walks. Payoff pitch. So he walks the leadoff man. That's his 4th walk issued in this game, and that's not good. And Sox fans, join us on Saturday, April 27th at 6:10. That's this Saturday as our Sox take on these Rays. Also, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Harold Baines bobblehead presented by Comcast Sportsnet. So dial 866 Sox game or WhiteSox.com. So he has just tied his career high in walks. Bays coming off a 5-1 homestand against Oakland and the Yankees.
2 tough teams coming in.
Well, they got a little mo going. There's a changeup, and regardless of what some people say, momentum in baseball is huge. Some people say there's no such thing as momentum.
Well, I'd rather be on the winning side of that. Zobrist, who's a switch hitter, much better average from the right side.
Breaking ball, just a roller right there. Short lead by Roberts. All right, Connor, take your time, buddy. A little bobble cost the throw to first, but they get the lead man one down.
This is a good chance of being 2. But that high hop allowed the force at second and nothing else.
But at least he took his time and made sure of a good throw.
And got the lead runner.
That's it. A lot of times that little bobble, they'll rush the throw, and first thing you go, you got a man on first and third. So here's Longoria. He got himself a nice pitch here to change up and laced it hard into left field for the RBI single. Takes the strike.
Diaz very deep in left field, respecting the power of Longoria.
Oh, and 2 the count. Longoria now 1 for 3 lifetime off Chris.
When Longoria went down last year, so really did the chances of the Rays. They did not sniff the playoffs last season.
Got a pretty good pitch to hit. Couldn't do anything with it. Well, Chris Sale and Matt Moore hooked up in the game last year. It was one of the best games we saw all season.
Chris had pretty good stuff that night.
They both did.
Yes, sir.
They both did. And Chris beat him. What was that, 1-0?
15 strikeouts? Was that the 15 strikeout affair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was dealing. He gone. He knew it. Hook. 2 out. And if you missed that game on May 10th last year,
there were a whole lot of these.
See the sharpness in that breaking ball we were talking about.
That slider was just burying itself down and into the right-hand hitters. It's one of the biggest efforts, if not the biggest effort of his young career.
I was talking after the ball game with Joe Madden, and he said that's one of the best baseball games that we played since I've been here.
Well, they've had a whole lot of good baseball games since Joe's been there.
But it's just baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one that, you know, you just tip your cap to both guys. Checks it up. He did not go, but they say he did. So the count 1-1.
Well, this year Matt Moore is off to just an unbelievable start. He's 4-0. His ERA 1.04. Giving up 10 hits in 26 innings. Pretty hard to get off much better than that.
And he'll be on the bump Saturday against our Gavin Floyd. On Sunday, it'll be David Price against Dylan Axelrod. Big hack on the hook.
Rodriguez hit the ball very well this spring and then started out the season pretty much the same way. Just as soon Shelley Duncan lead off the next inning.
That's the short lead. Yes, he gone. So he walks the leadoff hitter, pitches over it, and Chris leads it 3-1.
At noon for live coverage from the Madhouse as Chicago readies for Game 4. Watch Bulls Nets Game 4 Saturday at noon on the network that is obsessed as you are, Comcast Sports Net.
Sox on top 3-1, 3-3-0 for us, 1-1-0 for them. All the runs coming in the first inning, in case you are just tuning in.
Well, you got the Bulls and you got the Bears covered. Those two young folks enjoying what has been a surprisingly mild evening. Certainly at 50 degrees, you would say it is.
So here's Kevinger, RBI double, and a run scored. Takes it low and away. That ball hit into left center field. Jennings is there.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in the game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite.
Here's Alex. He walked and scored back in the first. Takes first pitch strike. Breaking ball.
Alex has been right on top of everything as far as his game is concerned in the early going. He's led the way offensively. He's been running well, and he's played just an outstanding defensive right field.
Well, he's picked up right where he left off last year.
Yeah, he had a great year last year in every aspect of the game.
That breaking ball down to Longoria. 2 out.
Evan Longoria with 1 error this year, but perennially he's one of the best in the business down there, and probably would have a few more Gold Gloves were it not for Adrian Beltre, who plies his trade in Texas.
Here's Adam. Adam lined out to center field. Takes a curveball strike.
What's the most important thing for Adam to start to do to consistently hit the ball like he did last year?
I wish I knew.
It's just a personal thing with him. In other words, it'll click in.
Sure. You know, I mean, it's when you get a guy 2 years ago, that's the worst year I've ever seen anybody ever have.
There's no doubt. Especially against the left-handers. I mean, he couldn't even make contact.
I told Adam, I said, I had some bad years, but I never had a year that bad. I mean, that was
159.
That was awful, and I couldn't have handled it the way he handled it. They would have had me in a straitjacket about halfway through the season.
Well, that's hard to take when you have a long history of success. And I'm not talking about batting average wise. I'm talking about hitting the ball out of the park and driving in runs. He's done that his whole life until 2 years ago.
That ball hit hard, but that's 2 line drives he's hit. Meanwhile, hang whoop 'em. And we have concluded 3, and we lead it 3-1.
Marco's Tacos from Taco Bell. Live Mas.
And again, it's Earth Week. You can reduce the almost 7 pounds of garbage you produce a day by shopping smarter and sharing more. Green is universal. Here's Duncan. He popped up to third. Kelly, big guy, 6'5", 225. Takes that fastball right there. Kelly can't be doing that.
No. Sale got him on a high fastball first time up. It was in, but it was up high enough where he couldn't get to it.
And that's popped up. Keppinger making the call. Yeah, when you're a dead fastball hitter and you get first ball fastball, you got to be turning that thing loose.
Especially from Chris, knowing that he does have a changeup and his slider is starting to get a little bit better as the game wears along. They only have one hit. That coming off the bat of Longoria, an RBI single in the first inning.
Here's Johnson, called out on a curveball. Big sweeper. Boy, this homestand, even with a couple of rainouts, has flown by. We're going to be hitting the road Monday night.
On to Texas.
Yeah. The last road trip we were on seemed like it was a 3-weeker.
Well, this one's going to have 3 cities. And it's going to end with the Mets in New York.
Ate him up. Just ate him up. 2 down. Well, the best thing about that is that you said the operative word, to end.
Yes.
In New York. What's so bad is when you start off on a 10-day road trip. Well, we used to start off like on sometimes 20, 21-day road trips. And you start it in New York when you're getting $10 a day meal money.
Then you're done. Then you can't eat the second half of the trip.
You can't eat?
Nope.
And there was nothing to eat in the clubhouse except a big roll of bologna and liverwurst, big bowl of potato chips, a cooler full of beer. Go get them, guys. You'd be amazed towards the end of a trip after you started in New York how many guys ate potato chips until they got full.
Well, now, as you well know, and our fans should know, these guys are fed pretty well in the various clubhouses around the league.
Well, New York's got some of the best food in the league. They have 4 or 5 entrees after every ball game, stuff before the game, then stuff before the game starts. Yeah, that ball hit deep. And out of here. So Lobaton makes it a 3-2 ball game.
First home run of the year for Jose Lobaton. Only his 3rd driven in. It's our 4th home run replay. This is a high fastball. And for Chris Sale, he now has given up 5 home runs in just over 30 innings of work.
Sam Fold, who walked, fouls that one off his foot in the count 0-2. The Rays now have homered in their last 11 ball games. That breaking ball fouled back.
Diaz goes back, runs out of room, and then Bobby Thigpen never saw the baseball, I don't believe. But he and Mark Salas never moved. 2 home runs all of last year in 69 games for Lobaton, and he's got one here.
That ball hit well in the center field. But the homer will go to the bottom of the 4th, leading 3-2. Just talking about it earlier. Rangers on top, leading the league with that. All right, Sox are second, followed by Kansas City. Kansas City gets that kind of pitching. They're going to be tough all year long.
Notice just the last game, both Moustakas and Hosmer drove in runs and started to hit. If those two guys start to hit, Kansas City is going to be very tough. Well, our offense got to Hellickson early. Now it's time to get a little more insurance.
Well, since that RBI single by Paulie, who's at the plate right now in the first inning, he's retired the last 8 he has seen. Takes the curveball and the count 0-2.
Defensive charts say to play Paulie as a pull hitter in the infield, and Paulie not too sure about the last pitch. Looked like it was pretty good, however. Longoria right on the line and deep at third.
Outfield swung around to the right. Gap out there, huge gap out there in left center. That changeup's been his best pitch so far.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of mileage out of it and throwing it in wipeout situations. Same arm slot, same arm velocity, and that's what fools the hitters. As this one at 79 drops out of the zone. It says 50 degrees, but a lot colder down in those dugouts.
So here's Gillespie. Had a sacrifice fly. Knocking in Rios for our third run back in the first inning. And that's low. Now the count 3-1.
Hellickson is one of their homegrown starters coming out of their organization.
He just turned and burned on that one. So a full count.
That was a fastball that he tried to get on the inner portion. Gunnar hit it awfully hard, but unfortunately got around way too quickly.
Checks it up and takes ball 4. And Sox fans, join us on Sunday, May 12th at 7:05 as our Sox take on the Angels. Also, the first 10,000 ladies aged 14 and over will receive a White Sox Mother's Day tote presented by Lumber Liquidators. Lumber Liquidators, where you can get the best deal on a new hardwood floor. Purchase tickets by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Here's Alexei. Struck out his first trip. Connor just a short lead. First and 30, Alexei. Watch out. Curveball.
Someone was behind him. Well, occasionally when it is a little chilly and you don't get a good feel for it, I've seen some hitters put that ball in play as they leave
with
the bat.
Their head.
They leave the bat behind them.
That's right.
Sometimes you catch a break.
Remember Sonny Siebert?
I do.
Had good stuff, right-hander. He hit me in the head, and the ball bounced off my helmet, right back to him.
I was fortunate. I never got hit in the head.
I was talking about it. He hit me in the head with a curveball.
Oh,
yeah. There's a shot. This one's going to be fair. Yes, it is. Down into the corner. Now they're going to wave him around. Here's Joe McEwing. They got a shot with a good throw. And they get him. Good relay by the D-Rays.
And Robin is arguing with Lance Barrett.
Perfect peg.
You've got two cutoff men back to back. Johnson hit the second one, and that's Longoria, and the throw. Looks like he got him.
Yeah, they got him. He was out. You can see it from up here. Meanwhile, Lexi on second base with that double. His 6th of the season, and that'll bring up Tyler, who struck out on the changeup. Saw a couple in that sequence. Leading off the second inning. Curveball strike. In the dirt, 1-1.
Robiton normally is a call it, catch it, throw it, and block it kind of catcher. And we saw the offensive aspect of his game as he hit a home run, but he's in there because he can handle a staff.
And that also is in the dirt. All right, Tyler, short and quick, buddy. Curveball, a roller, pretty good pitch to hit, and fouls it off.
Dwayne Wise in the on-deck circle, waiting for his opportunity if Flowers can keep it alive.
Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Threw that one right by him. So they make a good play on us, save a run, but we still lead at 3-2. And receive savings off the individual game ticket price. You can enhance your outing by upgrading to our new Miller Lite Bullpen Party Porch, pregame patio party, Diamond Suite, or one of our other great party areas. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. That is the domain of the Bertucci boys out there, Bobby Bruno and Handsome Anthony. Top of the 5th inning, 3-4-0 for our guys, 2-2-0 for their guys. Top of the order, Desmond Jennings to lead it off, followed by Roberts and Zobrist.
Jennings, when he did play last year, had to play a corner because B.J. Upton was their everyday center fielder. So they allowed him to go via free agency. Now they've turned over center field to Desmond Jennings. We're going to see Will Myers, a very promising youngster out of the Kansas City organization, traded over in the James Shields trade. He's eventually going to be their everyday right fielder.
He gone. 2 hooks and some gas.
Strikeout number 5, the high heat.
Roberts has gone out deep to center and walked. If you're just tuning in, Chris has walked 4 guys, tying a career high.
Yeah, for him, very uncharacteristic wildness. And I think he let a call get to him back in the 2nd inning. That cost him a couple of walks. Leadoff walk into 1st and a misplay. Cost him a run in the 1st inning.
That strike evens the count at 1. Jammed him. So a ball and 2 strikes for the 32-year-old veteran. Oh, that's trouble. Let it go. Oh, beautiful play. Wow.
I thought he had made a big mistake just fielding that ball, because undoubtedly it's going to go foul. And as it turned out, Chris knew better. Chopper, this one hop is going to kick it foul if he lets it go, but decides to play it and then guns it across to get Roberts by a step.
What a gorgeous play by, very athletic play by Chris.
A surprising play. And it wasn't all that close at first.
No, you got him easy.
Yeah.
Might be the best fastball he threw tonight, right there.
Well, he doesn't have his usual crackling fastball. I mean, that fastball is 90, 91 miles an hour. Occasionally he'll get it up a little higher, but normally he's got a little more on it. So tonight he's really got a pitch, and he's pitched himself into the lead so far.
Curveball strike to Zobrist, who has grounded out twice, once the 2nd and once the 3rd. Count evens.
Zobrist has been there every day. Second baseman will go back there as soon as Yunel Escobar is cleared to play with a little twinge in the hamstring.
Fastball. Yeah, Escobar is a good player.
Well, he's a bundle of talent who hasn't learned yet how to consistently get it out of himself.
Well, he's with the right manager.
I'll say that.
He is with the right manager. Joe Madden finds ways. That's what managing is all. Getting what's in you out of you. He gone. Beautiful play by Chris Sale. We're halfway home, leading by 1. Errors for their guys here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Wise and back to the top of the order with Diaza and Keppinger.
Glenn Wise going to take a close look at Evan Longoria and see where he's going to position himself. Right now he's even with the bag, not on the grass. That's very buntable. I would anticipate him moving forward, and now he starts to.
And you got Rodriguez even with the bag off the line at first as he takes it right there. Wise has grounded out to Rodriguez. There's that changeup. He got a Jim Dandy.
Not quite as good as James Shields, but it's pretty good. He's got a whole lot of our hitters well out in front of it.
Well, if any young pitcher is on the same staff with James Shields and doesn't find out a way to throw that changeup, he is cheating himself.
Big mistake.
Oh, yeah. That is a souvenir left side. One and two the count.
Normally he backs up that high fastball with a straight change. We'll have to see what Lobaton wants because Hellickson is not shaking off much.
There's a curveball. That used to be absolutely, probably at least 90% of the time. Throw a high fastball, next pitch is going to be a low change.
Well, Lobaton is not setting up. He's staying right in the middle of the plate for his curveball and his straight change. So apparently that's an organizational philosophy with their young pitchers. Now he's moving out. He moved out for the fastball and he threw a perfect fastball and struck him out looking.
Now Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, he has done a great job since he's been down there. Whew.
Well, he's had a whole lot to work with because this organization hasn't put out a whole lot of everyday players, but they do grow a lot of pitchers.
Well, you know, one of the reasons is the fact that they had some good draft choices and the scouts did the job.
Yeah.
Because they lost for a long time. And that's the only way, one of the two ways you're going to build a nice pitching staff is there's the changeup. I know when Piniella was there, next to his last year, he had 12 pitchers on the team. It's the only time it's ever been done in Major League history. 12 pitchers on his team, all 12 will make it a minimum.
That helps a lot.
Yeah. And they had Lobaton takes the brunt of that one. And the funny thing about it was they had promised him prior to the season that they were going to spend some money and get some pitching. He had 12 pitchers, all making a minimum salary. Only time it's ever been done.
Catchers don't like guys who don't bunt well because when they don't bunt well, that ball is going to come right back at them. And this one got him flush.
Yeah, it's a 1 for 2, a leadoff double in the bottom of the first, and a run scored. Curveball in the dirt. There's that changeup.
Alejandro did a nice job of staying alive.
Well, you know he's got a good one when you can't see it from up here. A lot of times, Steve and I can see the changeup when it's coming, because he'll give it away and you can see it, but you can't see it from home plate.
Now he's got a good one. Same arm slot, same arm velocity, and he can't read it. One of the homegrown players that the Rays did select in the first round, Evan Longoria, their third baseman. And they've got Colorado to thank. Colorado had the number 2 choice. They couldn't live without Matt Reynolds. He's no longer there. So number 3, Longoria, fell to Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time, the Rays now. Imagine Tulowitzki and Longoria on the left side for the Rockies. That's what it would have been. Although Colorado off to a remarkable start this year. To this point, the Rockies are one of the real surprises in all of baseball. 14-7, leading San Francisco by a game and a half, and leading the West.
And once again, the 1-2. There's the change.
Let's take a look at our Avis slow motion replay. And it comes on a slide by Jeff Keppinger after a base hit by Paul Konerko. Keppinger able to slide around a lunging Jose Lobaton. And at the time, it scored the second run of the game.
That's low and away. Top of the 6th in Minnesota, 2-0 Texas. There's that changeup.
He's certainly getting a lot of mileage out of that one. Most of the real good ones are at 79. He throws them over the top, and they've got good late sink.
The guy who used to amaze me with his was Doug Jones. Unbelievable.
He threw it from the side almost.
Yeah.
He had a most unusual straight change.
He could tell you it's coming. You still couldn't.
Well, he did, because he threw it about every pitch.
Yeah.
And then he changed up off the changeup.
Yep. That's in the right field. So a couple of strikeouts. He has 7 of them now in that flyout, and we'll go to the 6th.
GMC highlights and post-game reactions from Game 3 between the Bulls and the Nets. And who picked whom in the NFL draft. Don't miss Sportsnet Central after the game by GMC tonight. Live.
We have finished 5 here at the ballpark. We lead it 3-2. It'll be Longoria, Rodriguez, and Duncan face Chris Sale.
This game pretty much shaping up like just about each and every game. Tough and tight.
Well, the 3 runs, if you're just tuning in, we scored in the first inning, were the most we've scored in an inning this year without the benefit of a home run. So that's a good sign. But it's tough to get that continuation hitting. It's not going to be playable.
Well, we are facing a very good staff, and although Hellickson got off to a slow start, he has picked it up. Chris Sale has used a lot of pitches so far as he heads into the top of the 6th inning. But he's been pretty good himself.
Chris is a terrific competitor, and all of our young pitchers are having a treat. We talked about James Shields, young pitchers learning that changeup, watching him pitch. Our pitchers having the treat of watching Jake Peavy compete. As he gone. 1 out. Yes, sir. There. All you got to do is watch Jake Peavy out there on that mound. If you can't learn anything from him.
Well, Jake Peavy and before him Mark Burley. You sit on the staff with those guys and you see how the real professionals go about their business on a daily basis, and just how competitive you can be when you have to go out there with a lot less than your best.
As there's a little soft single by Rodriguez into left field. Just the 3rd hit given up by Chris. And here's Duncan. He has popped to 3rd and popped up to 2nd. Could make no mistake about it. Shelley is dangerous.
He's got big power. And he has that classic uppercut swing of a home run hitter. But the thing that stopped him from playing every day, just about anywhere he's been except for 1 year at St. Louis, was that he strikes out a whole lot.
He had 5 home runs and 10 RBIs in his first 8 major league games back in 2007.
Not surprising.
No.
If he can just get any part of the bat on the ball, he usually hits it a long way.
All right, boys, take your time. You got plenty of it. Rack them up. And that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of 6, still leading by a run. come see our Sox take on these Rays at 7:10. All fans are invited to stay for a post-game fireworks show presented by Magellan Corporation. Magellan Corporation. Purchase tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Rios, Dunn, Konerko.
Let's see if we can get something done the third time through the order. As Hellickson, who is very reminiscent of another one of their starters, Alex Cobb, has had things his own way since the first. Cobb 3-1 this year. His ERA 182. He's just a youngster, and they throw very similar to one another.
Alex 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Bad breaking ball. And the count 1-0. And once again, a reminder, make your plans to be with us tomorrow night right here at the ballpark. Jake Peavy on the bump. Against Roberto Hernandez. If you can't make it, that game will be over WCIU. On Saturday, Matt Moore against Gavin Floyd. That's Saturday evening, 6:10 start. That game back here on Comcast Sportsnet. As the count moves to 3-0. And in the finale of this 4-game series in this homestand on Sunday, Dylan Axelrod against David Price, and that game will be over WGN. Checks it up, fouls it off.
There's a bad break because he should be standing at first base. Instead, sits with a 3-1 count.
There it is, ball 4. The dreaded leadoff walk.
It's somewhat surprising that Hellickson would use the 3-1 curveball because he hasn't gotten all that many over the plate, and he knows that one of the few guys that we have that can run a bit is Alex Rios. So that's very good for us and not so good for him.
So here's Adam. He is lined out to center and he is lined out to first.
Zobrist is playing right up the middle, and now they shift him even more up the middle.
Pretty quick move by Hellickson. Another thing he could learn from James Shields.
The move to first base.
Yeah,
Shields has got a real good one.
Souvenir left side. Only 7 hits in this ball game. We have 4. Only 5 runs in this game. If you're just tuning in, we have 3. And coming into this game tonight, Rays led the American League with stolen bases allowed. 18 of them. That ball hit high and deep. Way back. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. 2-run bomb by Adam Dunn. And the Sox lead it 5-2.
Fourth home run. RBIs 7 and 8. And the big man has given a 2-run bomb on the Ford home run replay. So Chris Sale now has a 3-run lead. 2 of them right here, courtesy of Adam Dunn.
So this game, he has hit 2 line drives and a long home run. and that would be number 410 in Adams' career. Here's Pauly. Pauly had a big RBI single back in the first inning. He's 1 for 2. Change up.
For Hellickson, that's the 5th home run he's given up. That in 30 innings.
Change up. Pauly has just had a lot of trouble picking up that change up. In his last at bat, struck him out on that pitch. And the 1-2. Another one. Boy, it was so nice to see the big man have a good night at the plate.
Well, he served some notice, especially as hard as he hit the ball in the first inning, that maybe the swing was starting to come around.
Checks it up, full count. Ball for a base hit. Change up. Could not lay off of it. So 1 out, and that'll bring up Gillespie, who was 0 for 1. Check that, 0 for 0 with sacrifice fly and a base on balls.
Bullpen up and going. And it's Jamie Wright, a very tall veteran right-hander.
Taking some scores for you. Yankees beat Toronto and Mark Burley 5-3. Kuroda the winner. Rivera, Mario picked up his 7th save.
Well, I thought Rivera was too old. Apparently not.
They've been saying that for what, 4 or 5 years?
For a long time.
I was watching on my iPad here. Colby Rasmus standing close to the plate.
How many bats did he break of his?
He just absolutely shattered it. Colby's going to have to learn. He can, off right-handers with good cutters or sliders, he's going to have to back off that plate.
Yeah, there's a few guys. Mariano will break some bats now. He used to break a whole lot of them.
Well, you know, managers just would not get it in their head. When they pinch hit, they send a left-handed hitter up there. They just wouldn't get it in their head. I beg some of our guys who are here, don't send a left-hander up there late in the ball game to face Mariano Rivera, because he's going to either break his bat or get his thumbnails knocked off. Start us up again right here, Connor. That ball ripped. Watch out, DB. Harold Boston. Debo.
Hellickson left that curveball out over the plate. And as happened in the earlier at bat, Gillespie just got around on it a little too quickly.
That change up high and wide, so a full count. Washington defeated Cincinnati 8-1. DC. Boston beat Houston 7-2 at Fenway. Dodgers over the Mets 3-2 in New York. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia beat the Phillies 6-4. That fastball fouled back.
One more pitch, it'll be the century mark for young Jeremy Hellickson. And that last pitch, a good example of what a straight change will do for you, because it was a fastball that was not overpowering, but Connor was late on it because you have to respect his changeup.
And there's ball 4. Fourth walk issued by Hellickson. He was walked Rios twice. Rios has scored twice. And now he has walked Gillespie twice. And here's Alexi, who is 1 for 2 with a double. Sox have walked 27 times in the last 8 games.
Well, that's been a radical improvement in that department. He certainly struggled mightily trying to get on base. 18 times in the first 13 games total did this ball club walk.
Oh, and 2 the count. Well, Jake and I were talking the other day and put it in proper context. He said our club wins when we hit home runs.
No doubt.
And with the weather being what it has been, a lot of balls, as we talked with Alex Rios, he had 3 in this homestand that just crushed, that the wind kept in the ballpark. One out, 1-2 the count. Ball hit hard but foul. In fact, our club this year, when we don't hit a home run, is 0-6.
Going back to last year, I think it's 0-12.
Yeah, I heard this.
So hitting the ball out of the park has been tonight 40% of our runs, but that first inning was done courtesy of a couple of doubles, a walk, a single, and a sacrifice fly.
And that fastball at 90 fouled away. Hellickson will take his time. He's already at 30 seconds. Now 35. 40. That was just a hanging changeup.
Longoria is right on the third baseline, telling you that he's going to use a lot of off-speed pitches or fastballs in.
And that breaking ball hit into left field. 2 down. And that'll bring up Tyler, who is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts.
The catcher, number 21,
Of course, that home run by Dunn, another generous contribution to White Sox charities from Alex Snellius in loving memory of Ursula. First pitch strike. Short lead. Breaking ball. And 0-2 the count to Tyler. Outfield straight up, spread out. Would not chase it.
Nice stop by Lobaton as he made sure that Gillespie couldn't move into scoring position.
Tyler is what you call at the plate right now in between, and that is the worst place you can be. But the two-run homer by Adam Dunn will go to the seventh, leading 5-2. That's Adams had in a ball game in a long time.
We showed you in the first inning when he hit a line drive to center field. That was the first at bat, and it served notice that maybe things were coming together for him. Then he hit a line drive to first base the second time up, but the third time up was the bomb. Low fastball, which is exactly what he's looking for. And that made it a 5-2 game, giving Chris Sale a little more insurance and the big man a little more confidence.
Got to. It's got to. I mean, you know, it's as well as he's handled these slumps that he's been in, he's got to be feeling really good about himself right now. But here's a big inning for Chris. He has Got to shut them down right here. Johnson, Lobaton, and Fall. First pitch strike.
Well, it's the bottom part of the order. He'd like to get some quick outs because he's at the 93 pitch mark.
Oh, and 2.
And the Rays, if it holds up the way it's been on their first road trip, which ended to 2-7, they average less than 3 runs per game. And they've scored 2 on 3 hits tonight off Chris Sale.
That ball hit well into center field. We got a man there. So hang with him with Johnson, who's now 0 for 3, but he hit it right on the sweet meat. And a reminder, it's Earth Week. You can shade sunny windows to cut down on air conditioner use and save money. Awnings can reduce some rays by as much as 77%. Green is universal.
Boy, what a handsome score bug in the green tonight.
That's outside. Lobaton has walked and homered. 5-5-0 for our guys. 2-3-0 for their guys. Change up.
Nate Jones like getting ready to go in the bullpen, and lately he's starting to find the strike zone, and when he finds the strike zone, nobody hits him. His stuff is too good. He can get himself in trouble, but very few times, if he's ahead of hitters, will they have any real good shot at him. You would think that at the pitch mark that Hellickson ended the 6th inning, that would be it for him.
Couldn't get there on that flare.
I think he probably gets to the ball if Lobaton doesn't shatter his bat, because the bat breaking didn't allow that ball to go any further, and Dwayne, who does play shallow, just saw it drop in front of him. That turned into kindling.
So here's Sam Fuld, who has walked and gone out deep to center. That's foul.
I think
ball.
he's out.
He's out. Yep. Got him out of the box.
And that's going to return Lobaton to first base. So Fuld, who was trying to drag a bunt and get himself on base, winds up having the ball bounce straight down and then straight back up and hit him not once, not twice, but 3 times. So a good call by Phil Cuzzy, who didn't need any help on the bases.
He was all over it.
Yes, he was. Tyler Flowers giving him a little help, and that's good.
Desmond Jennings, the leadoff hitter, the center fielder.
There is a huge break, because if he gets that one down cleanly, he's going to beat it out easily.
Well, left-handers against Chris Sale this year hitting a hefty 127.
I don't blame him for bunting.
No, they're 1 for 27. Excuse me, 1 for 27. Pretty good rip right there by Jennings. 1 for 27.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons in talking with Joe Madden why he didn't play James Loney tonight, because he said Loney's starting to swing the bat real well. I'm not going to put him in a slump by letting him face Chris Sale.
Yeah. Then that Washington 8-1 win over Cincinnati. Bryce Harper went 2 for 3. His 8th homer. He hit it halfway up that hitter's eye in the background. He's now hitting at 364.
Just an amazing young talent, and a talent in every aspect of the game. He's probably the best throwing left fielder we have in baseball, including Alex Gordon.
Right down the corner. Keppinger. And that'll retire the side. 7th inning stretch, we lead it 5-2.
The game, 0-1 record, ERA 2.16. He's usually the first man out of the chute in a game that Tampa is not ahead. In talking with Joe Madden, he talked about how he likes to use his bullpen when the team is ahead. And he's got Peralta and McGee as setup men for Fernando Rodney, who had last year one of the most brilliant years as a closer maybe in history. But he finds himself trailing by 3 late.
Sox 3 in the first, 2 in the 6th. Rays 1 in the first, 1 in the 4th. And if you're just joining us, Adam Dunn, 3 line drives in this ball game. Well, I should say 2 line drives and a bomb. His 4th homer. Last inning. So here's D. Wise 0 for 2. Be a lot of our hitters glad to see that changeup of Hellickson out of the ball game.
That's for sure.
Steve and I both cannot impress upon the youngsters and the parents out there of youngsters on the importance. They don't have to have a curveball. They don't have to have a slider at a young age. They can throw a fastball changeup. And then later on, as Steve said earlier, when they get stronger, their arm is more mature, then they can start coming up with a little breaking ball. It's into left field.
Well, we've seen a lot of young guys that wind up hurting their arms well before they can realize whatever potential they might have, because they see major league pitchers using cutters and splitters and turning the ball over and doing a whole lot of different things that a mature arm can handle, but one that's still developing can't. And so the greatest thing you can do for any young pitcher is talk about a good motion, a solid follow through, and throw strikes, preferably to both sides of the plate, with what Hawk said, a fastball and a changeup being the staples. You can always add things later. But if you have control, you're going to actually win at just about any level, because there's a lot of the young pitchers that have no control. They might throw harder than you. They might have better stuff. But control is going to tell the tale of how far you're going to progress.
Well, our White Sox young fans had the pleasure of watching Mark Burley for 12 years. And he certainly was not a hard thrower, but all he did was go out and pitch 200 innings plus every year, win in double figures every year. You don't have to throw hard to pitch in the big leagues. And on the hitting aspect of it, you don't have to hit curveballs to play in the big leagues. But you better turn the fastball around.
And there's a guy that has a pretty big fastball, Matt Lindstrom.
That one in the dirt. Count evens at 2. Top of the 8th in Minnesota, 2-1 Texas. Breaking ball. Two down. And I'll bring up Cappinger.
Jamie Wright has been around a long time. And yet he still finds a place in a major league bullpen because of his ability to get assorted pitches over the plate. Gone are the days when he could just stand out there and overwhelm you with his stuff.
Cappinger takes strike one. He's 1 for 3, an RBI double, and he also scored back in the first inning. There's a base hit for him. So Frank and Laurie Padors picked a click. 2 for 4.
Jeff takes a curveball, stays right with it, even though it's a pretty decent pitch, and loops it over the head of Roberts into right field. So Jamie Wright, who is with his 10th organization, gives up a base hit.
Here's Alex. He's 0 for 1 with 2 walks and 2 runs scored. Watch out. Alex has faced Wright 13 times, has 3 hits.
Jamie Wright started his career 20 years ago in the Rockies organization. 1993. That's a long career professionally.
Boy, that's really a long career when you're talking about a pitcher.
Colorado, Milwaukee, St. Louis, Kansas City, back to Colorado, to San Francisco, to Texas, to Kansas City, to Cleveland, then to Seattle, Los Angeles, and now Tampa Bay.
Two out, 2-1 to count.
That is a lot of decisions. And 35 under 500 tells you that he was a starter a whole lot and not particularly good most of the time, but good enough to keep getting paid to do what he loves to do.
Checks it up. He did not go. Well, with the perks, the minimum salary, the average salary, if you can walk and you can run a little bit, you got to play this game as long as you can.
As the saying goes, make them burn the uniform off you.
Yep.
If you're healthy, especially for a pitcher, very few pitchers leave the league with a healthy arm.
There's a strike.
If they can establish the fact that they can get major league hitters out and they can stay healthy, they most likely will have a job somewhere.
Two out, 3-2 the count. There's the base hit right back through the middle. Kevinger will make the turn and move into third. So Alex just continues to contribute.
Been on base 3 times tonight, and that'll help his on base percentage. Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite, and it was Adam Dunn. Last inning, with Rios on and nobody out, he takes a low fastball out of the ballpark. His 4th. He's driven in 8, and that made it 5-2, where it still stands.
Have a good night, Adam. There's that big hook. Adam, 4 for 17 against Wright. 2 of them stayed in the park. One and one to count. Chops that breaking ball foul. So right on top, 1-2. And once again, a reminder, make your plans to be with us tomorrow night. Game 2 of this 4-game set. Jake Peavy on the bump. Always just a joy to watch against Roberto Hernandez. Two and two.
Kepinger is coming way down the line because Longoria is playing almost a straightaway shortstop, so he's got plenty of room down there, and the closest person to him, besides Joe McEwing, is umpire Tom Hallion.
Go it in dirt. There goes Alex, and there's a chopper right to the first baseman, and that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 8th, leading by 3.
3 outs to go before he turns it over to Addison Reed. There you look at the numbers. Last time out, not a good outing for him, but overall he's thrown the ball very well. And he's got to go through the top part of the order.
Roberts, Zobrist, and Longoria. Roberts 0 for 2.
Here's our Xfinity high-speed action replay. And it's a great play by Chris Sale on a ball that looked like it was going foul, but he figured there's an out there to be made, and make it he does. Big effort throwing out Roberts in the 5th.
That was a beautiful play. Beautiful play.
Well, it showed you for a big man, and at 6'6", he is a big man. He can get off the mound in a hurry, and he was setting up to throw it as he got to the ball, and he got him by a full step.
Well, what's not talked about enough about Chris Sale is his competitiveness. He is a competitor.
And this was not the greatest stuff in the world tonight, yet he limited them through 7 innings to just 4 hits.
He will battle your behind off. He gone. 1 out. And a reminder, Sox fans, first 20,000 fans on Saturday, May 25th, will receive a 1983 White Sox cap presented by the Private Bank. The Private Bank, the bank for business, the bank for life. So here's Zobrist.
He'll turn around for the first time, hitting from the left side.
Chops that one foul.
Left-handed, more power. Right-handed, a better pure hitter. But Zobrist has become a star since going to Tampa Bay.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. He has been a heck of a player for these guys.
You know, he was always known as somewhat of a journeyman wherever he had been before. Maybe fill a spot here for a while. He still played all over for Tampa, but they've seen to it by giving him the opportunity to play every day somewhere that his bat has really come alive.
2-1. Well, one of the great attributes, one of the great traits of a great coach, Don Shula, was finding guys who, as you say, were like journeymen, putting them in the right spots and letting them become stars.
Well, when I talked with Dave Martinez and Joe Madden about Ben Zobrist, I said, you know, when he came to you, he was just a player. Now he's an excellent player. What's the biggest difference? And they said the opportunity. We gave him the opportunity. And by playing him every day somewhere, sometimes in right, sometimes at second, sometimes at shortstop, which was his natural position, he's gotten that 4 or 5 at bats every day and made the most of them.
Two down.
It's the Tampa Bay pen, and it is Brandon Gomes.
So Zobrist is retired. Zobrist, who was born in Eureka, Illinois. And here's Longoria. He's 1 for 3. RBI single and a couple of strikeouts. Takes first pitch strike. Another job by Matt. Terrific. Nice pick by Paulie. 1-2-3 inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 5-2 good guys.
Ray Day. Tune in as Paulie and the good guys look to set up some fireworks against the Rays' undefeated lefty, Matt Moore. It's White Sox and Rays Saturday night at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
And Stone Pony, here's a tweet for you, buddy. It's our AT&T tweet of the game from Tahikan. What's the difference between Chris Sale tonight and his 15 strikeout game?
He just had overwhelming stuff when he pitched against his team in Tampa last year. And everything he had worked well. He was throwing a little bit harder than he was throwing tonight. Tonight he had to be much more of a pitcher because the stuff wasn't great. He did walk 4, but after that leadoff walk in the 3rd inning, he didn't walk anybody else, showing you the maturation process of a young pitcher trying to turn himself into a great pitcher. And that really is the difference between last year and this year. So Brandon Gomes comes into the game, and the Sox will look at him, trying to maybe add a run or two. On for the 9th time, an ERA of 4.70 and an 0-1 record.
Here's Paulie. Paulie 1 for 3, a big RBI single in the 1st inning. Big's first pitch strike. Yeah, Chris Sale has a chance. He's got a chance to be a great pitcher.
I don't doubt it for a minute. Because natural stuff will take you so far, and then it is that fire in the belly or competitiveness you were talking about that'll take you the rest of the way. And he's got plenty of that.
Yes, he does. He got some stones. And to this day, you know, in all the beautiful games he's pitched, the one that impressed me the most was the one in Texas when he had the dead arm period there.
And he had the least.
And he only hit 90 twice. And he went out there and beat a good hitting ball club. It's that old saying about big league pitching. If you got to have your good stuff and your good control to win a big league baseball game, you're not going to win a whole bunch of them.
No. Well, you're probably going to be under 500, and that usually doesn't help your ball club a whole lot. Especially when they're looking for an ace, and I believe we've got 2 of them, Jake Peavy and Chris Sale.
The 1-2 pitch. He did not go.
I think the surprising part about our ball club this year, and it hasn't been the start that anybody wanted, but the surprising thing is the performance out of 4 and 5 in the rotation. Quintana and Axelrod have thrown the ball unbelievably well.
Thank goodness it's been that way, or else we would be way under 500. Is that out of play? On one side of the page, you hate to lose that good pitching and not pick up the victories. On the other side of that page, you're glad you had it because the way we've been scoring and the way we've been playing defense, we'd be buried.
And also, it helps those young pitchers, and they're both young pitchers, to pitch like they have and always in tough, tight games, because it gives them confidence that they can win in those games.
1 out.
Addison Reed will be going after the save, assuming we don't get any more runs. If we do pick up one, it takes him out of a save situation. I talked with Addison before the game about the adrenaline. He said, I'd rather come in first and second, nobody out, than come in to get an inning to knock the rust off in a 7-0 game. And I said, sure, because of the adrenaline. He said, yeah, it's just a completely different feeling. Closers are a different breed. And I keep hearing from lots of folks it's the same to get outs in the 7th or 8th as it is in the 9th. And those are the folks that know very little about the game or about what it takes to close.
Some guys can breeze through the 7th or the 8th. Get to the 9th. If you got to put them in there for whatever reason, can't get it done.
Well, you find a whole lot of pitchers that can be setup men, and some can be the guy that gets the ball to the setup man. But at any one given time, in all of Major League Baseball, there might be 10 lockdown closers. Maybe that would be a lot. And I consider lockdown closer 85% and above. And so if it was that easy to do, there'd be one lockdown closer with all 30 ball clubs.
It's hard to name 10.
No. Oh, and by the way, Detroit brought up Jose Valverde once again to be their closer.
That didn't take long, did it?
No, we didn't serve much of a minor league stint.
2-2.
He tried the youngster Rondon out of spring training and then realized that he couldn't get the ball over consistently despite throwing 100 miles an hour. And Valverde was still throwing in Dominican for a lot of teams. And finally Detroit said, oh, that's right, we forgot we really did want you, so come on back.
So 2 strikeouts for Gomes. Well, a reminder, you can join the White Sox Kids Club presented by the University of Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital, and we're teaming up to promote a healthy lifestyle and combat childhood obesity. Members will receive free White Sox tickets and cool exclusive Kids Club items. So visit whitesox.com to join the club today. Here's Alexei. He's 1 for 3. A double. Takes ball 1. Top of the 9th in Minnesota, 2-1 Texas. Earlier, Kansas City beat the Tigers 8-3. Out and around that one to even the count at 1. Bottom of the 3rd, the Safeco Mariners leading the Angels 1-0. Angels 8-12. Same record as we have. 2-1. Texas 14-7.
Pretty easy to figure out why the Angels are 8-12. Second worst ERA in the league, 4.88. They're just not getting any pitching.
That's the reason that I like Texas over the Angels. Texas has better pitching than they do.
There's no doubt.
They have better pitching.
Especially with Weaver out.
Even with Weaver in, they have better pitching.
Well, don't forget Texas lost Harrison. And for them, that's a big loss.
Yeah, it is. So this guy strikes out the side. We'll go the 9th. Rodriguez, Duncan, and Johnson, the scheduled hitters. source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At Bat delivers baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, breaking news, video highlights. MLB TV Premium subscribers can get At Bat Premium features for free and watch live games. So download At Bat now. Text At Bat to 31826.
And there's a look at Addison Reed, who comes on to try to pick up save number 7. He's been perfect this year. 9 strikeouts in 9 innings. 1-point ERA. And he'll go through the middle to the bottom part of the order for these Rays.
So here we go. Sox lead at 5-2. There's a bullet. That was James Loney.
And Loney now 3 for 4 as a pinch hitter. So he comes up and promptly looks at the first ball fastball and drives it into right field.
So here's Matt Joyce hitting for Duncan. Outfield straight up, spread out.
Here's our AT&T multi-view. See Loney at first. He doesn't have great speed.
High into right field. Alex, 1 out. And that'll bring up Kelly Johnson, who was 0 for 3 tonight.
Johnson does have some power, so you can't take him for granted. Doesn't walk very much, but he can take you out.
He has faced Addison 1 time, and Addison punched him out. Paulie playing behind Loney, who takes off.
Looks like Jose Molina in the on-deck circle.
Takes it up, takes the strike to even the count at 1. Big pitch right here. And that's popped up left side. Yazda. 2 down. And here comes Molina. The venerable Jose Molina hitting at .238 with a homer, 3 RBIs. 5-7-0 for us, 2-5-0 for them.
Molina, one of the trio of catching Molina brothers.
Molina is a smart hitter. And he will look for pitches right there. He was just looking first ball, fastball. Didn't get it.
Nope, he didn't. But he was airing it out in case he did.
That's it. That's it.
Swing hard in case he hits
that
something.
Old saying, a bad idea is better than no idea at all. Because you can improve on a bad idea. If you got no idea at all, you got nowhere to go. There's 0-2. No 2 pitch. That is fouled right side Souvenir. He gone, and this ball game is over. So Addison Reed comes on, gives up the single. Deloney pops up Matt Joyce, pops up Johnson, strikes out Jose Molina, and the Sox take the first of this 4-game set. They win it 5-2, and what a job by Chris Sale.
Chris went 7 innings with less than his best stuff, yet he did limit this lineup to just 4 hits. He walked 4. That won't make him real happy, but tonight was a night when he had to really work for it. He started off with a shaky first, walked Jennings to lead it off, gave up a run in the first inning, 1 other run on a home run by Lobaton, and other than that, this Tampa Bay team, which doesn't hit on the road and is now 2-8 on the road, followed their this year history and did the same thing tonight. So a big win behind Chris Sale and just enough offense to get it done. And the big man Adam Dunn, one of the real bright spots tonight.
Well, it's the best game he's had in a long time. If you missed it, first time up, he had a bullet in the center field for a line drive. Next time up, he had a bullet to first base, right to him, and then hit that bomb out of here. And in his last at bat, he had a chopper down to first base that he just was over a little bit. But overall, everything was good tonight. If you're talking about the Sale, and then all of a sudden Matt Lindstrom comes on and he continues to pitch well, and then Addison Reed with his 7th save.
And 7 for 7 is something special for him because he was given obviously the closer job after having to win it last year, because he wasn't the first choice last year, turned into one of the better closers in baseball. And just assumed the role this year and looks like a natural at it because he's got some ice water in his veins and looks to me like he wants the ball, and that's most of the battle.
Well, Addison's mound presence out there is even though he had the 29 saves last year, is Addison ready now?
I'm ready, Hawk.
Well, let's go down on the field and talk to him. But he's got that mound presence out there right now. He looks like he's in command, and Addison, nice going, big guy.
Thanks, Hawk.
Well, that's the 7th save you got, and I'll tell you what, the bullpen's just been spectacular this year.
Man, we're having fun out there. We're ready whenever our name is called, and we've been doing well so far. We're going to try and keep it going this rest of this year.
When we talked before the game, Addison, you told me that there's a different feeling of adrenaline when you come in with a save on the line, and you did come in tonight. Does a 3-run save, is that any easier than when you come in with the game on the bases, or do you view it as save's a save?
I'd keep the same mindset. We could be up by 1, up by 3. I'd keep the same mindset, and honestly, anytime I go out there, I mean, we could be up by 7. I go out there with the same mindset as if we were winning by 1 run.
Well, we know it's cold out there, big guy. It's a big win for us in the first of this 4-game set. Nice going, and get in there and get a little ice on that arm.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.
Addison Reed picking up his 7th save. And right now, let's check out our GMC player of the game.
It is Chris Sale. He went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits, just a couple of runs. He walked 4. He fanned 7. Didn't have his best stuff, but good enough to win. And Tampa Bay continues their road woes as we try to build a little bit more at home. We're now over 500 right here at U.S. Cellular, hoping to continue along the way.
And our GMC player of the game is a 24-year-old southpaw, Chris Sale. Our GMC player of the game evens up his record at 2-2. So for my partner Steve Stone, our director Jim Angio, our producer John Walgren, for the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, also our associate producer Chris Kamka, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., also Frank Leone down in the truck, Chris Kamka down in the truck, and up here in the booth, Kelly Griffin, Tom Hoover, Frank D'Amato. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody. You've been watching Chicago White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.